We're here in this is the third floor of your office. Tell me about it. Have you written any books in here?
Oh, I got it right here. See this one here? It's a nice new one. That's going to be retyped this weekend. And after that comes my last Mike Hammer. I got another one in right now. It's called Something's Down There. Have you ever been out in a boat? You're out in the ocean, getting dark. There's a little storm coming up over there. And you look around, look down and you see something big and black up past us. Something's down there. You're all by yourself out in that boat. Jeez. It's a very spooky feeling. You don't know what it is. You saw it. It's there. And then maybe you might look out and something flips out of the water out there. It's pretty big. Oh, geez. And you're maybe 20 miles from home. And you still push the button, start the engine, you head back to shore. And all behind you can feel, wonder what was that thing? Something was down there. Now that's the title of my book that's in and being published now. Now this one I haven't put the title on it yet. But I'll tell you one thing, in my next Mike Hammer book, Mike and Vella have been pretty close. And now I'm going to get them married. And boy, you can't be any closer than that, can you? That's enough, Paul. We got enough on that film, haven't we? Well, you know, something's funny about this. Being in Murrells Inlet here, anybody that comes down is a little bit known. It's a celebrity, you know. I've always found it very strange to be in the position I'm in now. For instance, one day, back in the old days, we're down at Oliver's Lodge having supper, and I had a man that came through from New York, was driving down to Miami, stopped to see me. His name was John Wayne. The old Duke stops off to see me, and I knew he'd call me. I said, come on down, we'll have supper together. So we went over, we ate in Oliver's Lodge. And this girl who was our waitress came over the next day. She said, you know, Mickey, you know the guy you had over at the lodge last night? She said, I would have sworn that was John Wayne if I didn't know better. I said, it was John Wayne. She said, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? I said, because people don't recognize the fact that old Duke, in the later years, he became he didn't have much hair. And he always had costume-wise, he always had wigs on or doing something, or he had his hat on. So when you see somebody straight off the street, and that well, he looks like somebody, but he wouldn't be down here in Murrells Inlet, but he was. I told Duke about that. He thought that was a hilarious thing. That was funny. But we've had other people come down from the days of the early Sun Fun times. We've had a lot of motion picture celebrities here and some stage people. And of course, the people down here they were glad to see them. Right? They weren't taken as, this was the original group from Myrtle Beach, for instance. When we had those Myrtle Beach Sun Fun festivals, they looked at them. We always selected people from Hollywood who were very familiar with everybody. They liked people. They were real outgoing, and so the people of Myrtle Beach took to them very easily. We never had anybody that was a standoffish type at all that I can remember. Now the guys from the light beer starts, the Miller Lite beer, tastes great, less filling, you know. These guys are celebrities. They were celebrities before they came here. They were well known by the public. They were football stars, baseball stars, boxing, every sport you can think of. And they were great to be around. And they were used to the public, and they knew how to handle them. And there was nothing standoffish about. Well, one or two were little funny guys, but we didn't have them around us. They didn't last very long with the All Star group. They did their bit. They were out, but they're never in that big social circle that we had. And we had about 45, I think, that of the All Star group, the Miller Lite All Star bunch. And they were great to be with. They were fishermen, they were sportsmen, they could do anything around. Boot Powell come down, he tried to eat up all the crabs that they had down at Oliver's Lodge again. These guys had some appetites that were absolutely, you got to see a guy like Ben Davison chew up steaks. He would sit down and eat 4 enormous steaks at one time. These guys, they're 6'8", they weigh enormous tonnages, for Pete's sake, and they put meals away like you can't believe. But funny enough, with all well, we sold a lot of beer. You know, we sold, I forget how many billion cases of beer from that group. It's a wonder they didn't keep us on a little longer. We would have sold some more for them. But these fellas were not big, they weren't drinkers. They'd have a beer once in a while, they have a beer. But they used to think that we were all big, heavy drinkers. We weren't. Most of the guys didn't smoke, didn't drink. They were athletes. They stayed away from that stuff, and they drank a beer when they wanted to have a beer, which is the same way it is today. Except that we get a little older now. We don't want a beer as fast as we used to. Well, I don't smoke, though. But anyway, that's something else. We had I can't even think of the names anymore. We have to go back in time for these things. But when the names pop out, oh yeah, they were down the beach with us. It was a strange time. It's the kind of a thing that it doesn't recur anymore. Like when you are older, you remember the Christmases you had and the holidays you had and the summers you had off. They were very exciting things when you were younger. But then you hit an adult stage, you don't have those things anymore. It's kind of hard to look back to when you were younger. Gee, man, I'm 85 years old. That's incredible. I don't know how I lived this long.
Yeah, the Meredith was...
Oh, Lee Meredith. Oh, Lee, I spoke to her the other day. She was a great one. She liked people. And she was a great actress with this great voice and a great personality. And she was built, oh, wow, that girl she should have worn a license plate around her neck to walk down the street. But she was such a nice person. Got along with everybody, from little tiny kids to grown-ups. My wife used to get mad because we'd be in a line at the big conventions and all that, and all the guys would be going in that line to get Lee's autograph. Little old lady would be going in my line to get my autograph. And it was so funny because we'd always have a picture taken, give them a big hug, and my wife would say to me, "Shame on you, you're hugging all those women." That's part of the business, you know. And he's a little old lady. I was younger then, but they were my age as I am now, you know. And hugging little old ladies, nothing wrong with that. And Lee would put on such a show. There'd always be more people in her line than ever were in mine. But as long as there were guys around, she was going to, right to the last one. We never left a stage or an auditorium where we left somebody standing without an autograph. Whatever they wanted, we were glad to give them. That was a nice time. We had a lot of years put in, and the years would go by just like that. They were fun times.
There was another famous woman that stayed here.
Who's that?
The Golden Girl.
Oh, yeah, that was I thought you was talking about Lisa Faraday. I thought about her in a minute. But, came around my head, my leading lady in the picture.
Yeah,
Oh.
what's her name?
Yeah. I'll never forget what's her name. And I just wrote her a letter the other day. Isn't that awful? I have, can't remember things anymore. This is my wife. What's her name? But these are great people to have around. If they are nice, they're nice to have. I've seen a lot of people who are pretty famous and all that, celebrity types. I wouldn't have anything to do with. I mean, no, but a lot of other people, they just get so wrapped up in the importance of what they have been doing and who they are. And that's a job, that's all it is.
But Mick, you know, honestly, most people don't realize the amount of time that you spent here in the inlet. And over the years, you had friends over, and they happened to be famous.
Yeah, well, it's funny when this big writer who found the Hunley, he wrote a bunch of great books. And he stopped by one day just and I said, "What are you doing?" He wrote the books Raise the Titanic. And I thought that's one of the best books I'd ever read, Raise the Titanic. Oh, what a great story he wrote. And of raising the Titanic from the bottom and the whole story. Then they made the movie out of it, which unfortunately it's hard to make a good movie out of a good book. The book's always better. And then what spoiled it for me is when they did find the Titanic, it was broken up, which I kind of expected it would be, because that's a long drop down there to the bottom of the ocean. But I wish it had been the way he had written. That was Clive Cussler I'm talking about. He had written a lot of books. And he stopped by to see me, and my friend Dave Garrett, he was dead now. He's another writer. He lived down here in Garden City. And I said, Dave, I got a friend of mine, come on over with me. And I said, Clive Cussler's here. He said, oh, gee, great, you know. Well, we were writers. And to meet another writer, it's just like, you know, it's no big thing. It's that you have a lot to talk about because it's a common field. And we got together, we got talking about the Hunley, and he hadn't found it yet. He was going down, because he does those. That's a sport with him. It's I don't know whether he does it all the time or not, but he loves underwater things, which is good. It gives him a good basis for what he's doing. And we sat and we had the darndest talk. He's in a different field from me, but we're in the same field, generally speaking, of writing. And Garrity, he was a kind of a new writer coming in, but doing good mystery stories. He's dead now.
What was he like?
Dave was a great guy. He was a sailor during the war. Some stories about Dave. During World War II, he served on the USS Texas. And in World War I, his father served on the same ship. In World War I, he said he went back to Houston to see where that ship is now berthed down there. And it's in, you know, the way they come to Carolina up here in Wilmington. And I said, did you find the place where you used to sleep? He said, I couldn't find anything. I didn't know where it was on that ship anymore. Well, I was a pilot, so I could always find out where I was. I just hop in the back in the head of the cockpit of the airplane, there it was. But those are strange times when you bring them back. I'll be sitting down every once in a while and I'll relive a sequence that happens. Something will happen like this. So many times it happens with the days of the All Stars. We were into so many towns that I don't remember them anymore. I remember the things that happened, but I don't know where they happened during that particular era. I used to talk about, see, Lee Meredith was the only girl with us, and she was such an outstanding person. I remember we went on the U.S. Constitution, Old Ironsides, up in Boston. And we went on there, and it was kind of a miserable day. But the guys all saw Lee going on board this old wooden vessel. And I'm right behind. I knew what was going to happen. Well, all the guys around there, and here, go up this ladder, Lee. I'm getting out. You guys wait. I'm going right behind her. No, you stay. Anyway, they followed her all over. It was like mice following a cat. All over the whole ship. But she used the time there to put on her little show. She was nice to everybody. She's great. She was doing little pieces that she's done. At that time, she was doing playing on one of the soap operas. Women, little old ladies knew her, not by what she was on the Miller Lite beer commercials, but from that position that she had in the soap operas. And man, she'd be surrounded by little old ladies, all wanting to talk about the soaps and whatnot. She'd take her time to do it. But again, this was part of the thing she was hired to do for Miller Beer. You know, this was a public relations setup.
Now, you had Boog Powell down here.
Oh, Boog was really great. Yeah.
Who were some of your friends that were actual friends of yours? Just friends, you know?
Well, we were all a very friendly bunch. We were especially selected. There was one guy, I'm not going to mention his name, nobody was friendly with, but Boog Powell he had a boat rental place, a fishing place down in the Florida Keys. And he loved that. Now, he sold that place after having it for many years now, owns a golf course someplace up in Connecticut or New York, so I don't know where, but up north. I don't think he's ever going to be happy being away from the water, though. He was so tied into fishing and whatnot. One day we went down there, my wife Jane was with us. We went out in his boat. We were out there fishing. Now Jane, my wife, can talk to head. Boy, she yappity yap 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 yap. She never shuts up. And she's on the boat. We're heading out into the Gulf there. She's yappity yap yap. And suddenly I'm talking to the guys here. There's something strange going on here. I don't know what it is. But I couldn't hear Jane. Oh, I said, gee, she must have fallen overboard. Cause yeah, I guess she did. So I walked around the boat. It was a big outboard. Walked around the boat, and there she is in the front seat, sitting up there with a white as a ghost, and she is seasick like you can't believe. But she didn't want to show anybody that she was sick, so she's just staying there huddled together, feeling miserable. She said, "Can't we go home?" I said, "Heck, we haven't even gone fishing yet. You're going to go suffer throughout this whole trip, kid." She stayed on that little cot where she was up in the front. And the happiest moment in her whole life was when we turned the boat around and started heading home. And she stayed seasick until we hit the dock. She never